Yo, guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a good weekend, and hope if you played Weekend League, hopefully it went well for you. We are here to do, as usual, Team of the Week predictions for Week 26, and overall, it's not too bad. Starting 11's pretty decent. After that, it kind of tails off a little bit. Um, and there's some like I had some tough decisions to make. So hopefully I've made the right ones this week, and we do better than we did last week. I believe last week we only got 12 right out of the 23, and it was kind of there were a few odd selections in last week. So let's hop to it and get you my thoughts for the team of the week. So as you can see, starting off strikers, I have Junior Marias from Shakhtar Donetsk. He had 2 goals and a I believe 4-1 win for Shakhtar on Saturday, I believe. He had 2 goals and an 8.5 rating, and I had a hard time. See, he was like one of the last ones that I put in because I had a hard time deciding between him and Angel Mena from I want to say Club Leon. I'm not sure if that's right, but it was a Mexican league striker. He had 2 goals and 1 assist and a 9 rating. But I went with Marias because he's higher rated. To kind of fill out the starting 11. So that's one guy that could get in, Angel Mena. Let me look him up real quick so I can tell you exactly where he's from. Because I could be completely wrong thinking that he was from Club Leon. It was from one of those Mexican Liga MX clubs. Let's see, he is from okay, Club Leon. Yeah, I was right, Club Leon. He's from Ecuador. He's 4-star, 4-star. Let's see what Marias is. And I can't spell either. Marias. So let's see what Marias is. Yeah, technically, technically, Mana would be a little bit better card skill wise. So, Mana is 4-star, 4-star, and Marias is 3-star, 4-star. Um, I don't know. I kind of think that Marias has had one inform already this year. So that one can kind of go either way. I went with Marias because he's higher rated. So we'll see what they do there. Next at the striker position, we have Casper Dolberg for OG Nice. He had both goals in a 2-1 win on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. 8.2 rating, or no clean sheet, but a dub. He's already been in once before, but scoring both goals, game winner, pretty much guarantees you a spot in team of the week, I think. So, not a whole lot else to say there. I have the next one I have. He's not necessarily a cam. It's kind of the team of the week this week. It was kind of a lot of the midfielders that I had in were silver players, and as we all know, not too many silver players get in. I think I got two, three. Yeah, actually, I've only got 2 silver players and a bronze player this week. So it's going to be interesting because that's the bad thing about like some of these leagues. Some of these guys are like playing really well, but because they're so low rated, they just don't get the acknowledgement or get in team of the week like they should. I mean, like a lot of these guys are getting two goals or 1 goal, 2 assists, and they should be in, but they're just not going to make it in. So, and this one I think is pretty much I don't want to say a guarantee, but because Serie A has hardly been playing because of the coronavirus outbreak in Italy and over in Europe. Um, Quagliarella actually had 2 goals for Sampdoria. They won two. I believe they won 2-1 on Sunday. Let's check that out real quick. I had something else up here. So let's go look. And I've seen where there's a possibility that they may not even play. They basically may be canceling Serie A until this outbreak's under control. They have they're literally trying to schedule a ton of games this next weekend. Yeah, this coming weekend. But I've heard that they may not play at all, which will affect because I had Atalanta and Lazio. No, was it I had Milan and Roma. Excuse me, it was Milan and Roma. Yeah, because they literally have Milan and Roma and Sampdoria listed both games on the same day. I was like, that's not happening. So yeah, the Serie A schedule's all messed up right now, and with the lack of gameplay recently, um, it's gonna be interesting to see. I think he's guaranteed a team of the week. Sampdoria beat Hellas Verona 2-1. He scored both goals. So I kind of don't really see how you can leave him out, but that doesn't really mean anything. Um, we'll see what happens, but he should make his return to team of the week. While I'm on Serie A, we're going to talk about Aaron Ramsey. He should be the team of the week from uh, Juventus as they beat Inter Milan 2-0 on Sunday. Ramsey assisted Paulo Dybala, and then he actually scored what turns out to be the game winner, and was assisted by Ronaldo. So Ramsey had an 8.3 rating. I believe it was the Ramsey 8.3 clean sheet, 1 goal, 1 assist. So I feel like he'll get in as well. Like I said, with the lack of Serie A games, these guys that play, the games that they do play, these guys that perform pretty well, they deserve to be in team of the week because I don't remember the last time that actually a Serie A got in team of the week. So that should be him getting in. So we'll move to left wing now, and this one's a little bit of I'm a little iffy on this one, but Sadio Mane had a goal and assist in Liverpool's 2-1 win over Bournemouth. He actually had the game winner. It was a really nice goal. So I don't know if he'll get in or not because generally when let's see, this will be his third in form, I think. Let's see. Yeah, this would be his third in form. So third in forms they generally require or they want a little bit better performance than that. But considering Liverpool's been a little up and down lately between Champions League and kind of giving up some goals and stuff, I think he could get in. Will he? I don't know. I kind of figure you juice him up in the team of the week. I think this Put Player Days promo is going to be 2 weeks, so I think best of team of the week going to be coming out Friday, and I think there's a possibility they drop the mid icon SBC either Friday or Saturday next week. If they don't drop it, then it's not coming out at all, or they're gonna drop it at some other time. But it's been talked about forever. It hasn't happened, so um, that's kind of my thoughts, and that's kind of why I put Sadio Mane in. Is I think you need a card to juice up team of the week. Kind of like they did a couple weeks ago when they put in like Mbappe, a couple other players that really didn't do a whole lot and didn't really deserve to be in team of the week. They put them in anyway. That's why. So that's why I have him in. If he doesn't get in, he doesn't get in. But it is what it is. So moving along, next we have Thorgan Hazard. I had a little bit of a tough time trying to decide whether I was going to put him in or not because I think, and then I'm going to go look this up real quick because I don't remember. Um, Dortmund won 2-1 over Mönchengladbach on Saturday. He scored the initial goal, but then Lars Stindl equalized shortly after half, and then Ashraf Hakimi he scored the game winner. Was assisted by Jadon Sancho. But I think Thorgan was actually considered the man of the match. He had a 7.9 rating, and it was by far like the next closest guy ratings wise was Mats Hummels with a 7.3. Pretty much like they had 4 yellow cards. Sancho came in. I take that back. Sancho got a yellow card too. He had a 7.5, so there's a possibility that they could give it to Sancho. But I went ahead and went with Thorgan Hazard here. If he does get an inform, then that means his ones to watch will look great as well. So if you're looking to snag a ones to watch Hazard before Thorgan, before Team of the Week, sell him before Team of the Week because once he comes out, once he gets the upgrade, that card's it'll drop back off again. So that's the way those cards work. But that's what I see from that game. We already talked about Aaron Ramsey. The next one is kind of funny because I actually saw a clip from the game of Ajax's game on, I believe it was Sunday. Tadic got in the face of one of his own guys. I don't know if he messed up or what the actual situation was, but it was kind of funny. I watched the replay or the clip over and over a couple of times because it cracked me up a little bit. But he kind of lit the dude up on it. This was Saturday, by the way. He kind of lit the dude up, and then he comes out in the second half and he scores 2 goals right off the bat to give Ajax the win. He by far had the. At first, I thought about Tagliafico because he had an assist, and then I was like, no. Tadic had a 9.4 rating, so there's no way. I don't think that the guy gets denied an inform this week. And I don't think that affects any of his other cards because I think his Team of the Year nominee card's either an 85 or an 86. So that'd be kind of interesting to see what would happen there. So I pretty much think he's in. It's been a while since we've seen an Ajax player in Team of the Week. So, and Ajax has actually been, they lost 2 in a row, and I actually predicted that they were going to lose to AZ Alkmaar last weekend, and they surely, in fact, lost 2-0. And AZ is actually 4-1, so they've actually tied Ajax for the lead in Eredivisie, and Feyenoord's only 6 points back. PSV's 7 points back. So it's going to be an interesting race for the rest of the season in Eredivisie. But Tadic, I think, gets an inform from Eredivisie. We'll hop over to La Liga. And again, this was another one I kind of had a little bit of a struggle with because it's hard to. Defenders were really weak this week. Play on words there, weak this week. But I feel like Sydney's going to get the inform from Real Betis. He had a 7.5 rating. He had the first goal against Real Madrid, and Real Betis actually beat Madrid 2-1. And I don't necessarily. Tello came on in the 66th minute and scored a goal, but I don't know that that's really inform worthy. Sydney played the whole game. He had 1 goal. He had 5 clearances, a block shot, 4 interceptions, 3 tackles. He committed a penalty, but it didn't count for it. Didn't get carded for it. He was pretty good, so I think that he'll get the inform out of that game. If it were to be anybody else from that game, it would be Christian Tello. But I think Sydney, he juices the team, the defenders up a little bit. Because like I said, this week again was defensively and even goalkeeper-wise was pretty hard to come up with some candidates there. So Sydney leads off the defensive team or the defensive selections. Next is Jerome Boateng for Bayern Munich. Um, Again, another one that I had a hard decision. I was kind of torn between Boateng and Thomas Muller. They were kind of on the same page as far as what they did in the game. Um, Muller had a goal, and uh, dude, I'm having my brains just completely left me. Boateng had the assist on Muller's goal, so that's where I have the hard time. Because Muller technically scored the game winner. Boateng assisted on the game winner. So which one do you actually give the inform to? Ratings wise, Muller had an 8.1. Boateng had a 7.7. Um, and Boateng really didn't do a whole lot in the game. He had quite a few touches. He was really good passing. Um, so due to the lack of defenders this week, that's why I went with Boateng over Thomas Muller. But it wouldn't surprise me if EA flips it and gives it to Muller over Boateng. So we'll have to see what they do there. Next up is this again. Here's another where you could go either way. I went with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He had no goals, no assists. He had an 8 rating. He had a clean sheet. He pretty much shut down Raheem Sterling for City on Sunday, and City basically showed that they struggle without KDB and Aymeric Laporte in the team. So, in my opinion, I don't think City did enough offensively to warrant any like huge saves from David De Gea. So I don't think De Gea gets in, but those are the two guys I think from that squad that possibly be doing inform. I know McTominay scored late, but that was just another goalkeeper error on Ederson's part, so I don't think that's technically inform worthy. And then Martial, I mean Bruno Fernandez. Bruno Fernandez is getting a Player of the Month. That should be out Friday. I don't think that Martial. I don't think Martial was really good in that game either. It was pretty much Bissaka shutting down. I mean, because literally all the other Man U players, there was only 5 of them that were over 7 rating, and only 2 that were over 7.5, and that was Wan-Bissaka and David De Gea. So that's why I went with Wan-Bissaka. I just think if it wasn't for him, so 2 factors. One, if it wasn't for him, and if Ederson hadn't made the goalkeeping errors that he did, it could have been a 0-0 game. And then you look at maybe De Gea having an inform or Ederson having an inform, but I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to get that. That'll help juice the team a week a little bit, and that'll also upgrade his ones to watch again. So we'll see what happens with that. Then starting goalkeepers, Bernd Leno from Arsenal. He had a huge game on Saturday. 6 saves, 3 in the box, a punch. He had a run out. He had a clearance. He played pretty well, and he kept. Arsenal aren't scoring a lot of goals right now. West Ham. I hate to say West Ham are bad. They're in bad form. West Ham has some decent players. It's just they just can't seem to find that groove. So Leno made quite a I say quite a few saves. I mean, 6 for a game is quite a few. 8's even better. Some of these guys that have had 10 to 12, that's just insane. So I feel like Bernd Leno gets the starting goalkeeper nod there. So that's our starting 11. It's a pretty well rated, 84 plus, with the exception of Sydney. Starting 11. So usable cards out of that would probably be Mane, Thorgan Hazard, Tadic maybe, Bissaka, Boateng, and even maybe Leno. I mean, depending on what kind of squad you have, would kind of depend on whether you can use those or not. So hop down to uh, hop down to the subs, and again, another one where I sort of struggled. And we'll see which way EA want to go with this. But I have Ross Barkley in. He had a 9.1 rating and 2 assists in the win over Everton. Willian also had 1 goal, 1 assist. Pedro had 1 goal, 1 assist. So literally, you could go either way with that. Willian or Pedro would present the higher rated inform there, but I mean, for me, they wouldn't. Willian would crack the starting 11. Pedro, I don't think so, and Barkley obviously doesn't. Since I have him on as a sub. Um, so I think he got the man of the match for that game as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Barkley, he should be in team of the week. But again, it could be Willian. Willian had an 8.8, so I think it's between those two. I think Pedro's left out. Um, so like I said, we'll see what happens there. And we don't have. Oh yeah, Harvey Barnes today. So this was kind of a late addition to Team of the Week because games from today do count for Team of the Week. Harvey Barnes scored the first goal, and then he actually scored the last goal to make it 4-0. Jamie Vardy scored a pin and also had a goal as well. He came on, but he only played like 30 minutes, I think. Yeah, he came on in the 59th minute, so he played like 32 minutes maybe. Harvey Barnes played the whole game, had an 8.8 rating. They had a clean sheet. He's been playing pretty well recently, despite Leicester's struggles. So I feel like he's going to get in Team of the Week with that performance today. Vardy, I don't know. He's got the headliner. They would have to upgrade that, so I don't see that happening. Vardy's kind of been on a cold streak lately, so I don't know that would get him in the team of the week. So those are the two guys from Leicester that could potentially get in, but I think it's going to be Harvey Barnes that gets in. So let's hop over back to Bundesliga for the next one, and that's going to be Vincenzo Grifo. Like I say, that Grifo for Freiburg. He had 2 assists in the 3-1 win over FC Union Berlin. And Union Berlin have been playing really well this season coming into Bundesliga. So Grifo assisted both the first 2 goals, I believe. Let's see. Let me go back to that. No, he assisted the first and the last goal. And nobody else really was kind of outstanding, so to speak, from that game for Freiburg. So I feel like Grifo will get in with his 2 assists. He's probably good for a few SBCs because he's Italian and Bundesliga, so that presents some good links for fodder. So we'll see what happens with that, but I think he gets in there. Let's hop over to Ligue 1. And the next one is Flavien Tate. Again, this one I sort of had a little bit of an issue, but then I kind of thought about it, and I was like, nah, I was like, pretty much deserves to be in. So he actually had 1 goal, 1 assist, but he played a key role. He basically assisted the second goal, then he scored the third one, basically put it out of reach. It was 2-0 at halftime. He scored midway through the second half. So he assisted Huno on the second goal. Then Huno scored one late. So if it were to be anybody else from that game, it would be, in my opinion, it would be Adrian Huno. But I think Flavien Tate presents a little bit higher rating there for the sub. He had an 8.8 rating. Obviously, they had a clean sheet. So I think that gets him in team of the week this week. So hopefully, fingers crossed that that gets him in. I need a good week this week. To I think I'm sitting 37th right now. I didn't do, like I said, I didn't do very well last week, so I'm trying to go for that top 25 finish. I struggled kind of early on, and then I kind of had a really good streak where I hit like about 14 a week for a while, and then I had a couple more bad weeks after that. So um, that is that. We move on, and I swear this next guy does not get in team of the week this week. I'm gonna be pissed. Not really, but it's like, what does this guy have to do to get in team of the week? Because he's technically, I think his card. Let me look his card up real quick because I think he's actually a CDM. Yeah, he's a CDM by FIFA standards. He's listed as a CDM, but I think possibly due to injury, he's been moved back to center back, and he's played center back for like the last several weeks now. And he's literally, I've had him. Let me go look at my team of the week predictions. I think I've had him. He wasn't on last week. I had him in team of the week 24 predictions. He wasn't in team of the week 23. Man, it seems like this guy's been playing better than that. Maybe I just got smart and left him out of some, but yeah, he tuned Cooper Miners for AZ Alkmaar. He had 2 more goals. Excuse me, Saturday against Den Haag, and they won 4-0. So he 2 goals and a clean sheet. And you're a center back. That's an automatic team of the week. So if he's not in team of the week this week, I'm going to be a little miffed at that because there's not anybody else from this game, and literally nobody else on his squad except the left back Owen Wendell had over a 7.5 rating for that game. So he basically, I think he scored. Yeah, he scored the first goal and then scored the third goal, which pretty much, I mean, it was 2-0 at halftime, but he pretty much put it out of reach in the 84th minute. The second goal, clean sheet. Again, I don't see how you leave this guy out, but you know, CA, if there's a, again, if there's a promo, then there's not a lot I can do. They're gonna juice it however they want. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. So the next one is pretty much this one goes without saying. I think I went yesterday and was scrolling through. Was it yesterday? No, it was Saturday. I went scrolling through and I saw the score. I was like, holy cow. I was like, yeah, this guy's pretty much guaranteed a week. Mr. Michael Vlap from RSC Anderlecht in the Belgian Pro League. They won 7-0. He had a hat trick. Got his hat trick in the 83rd minute. So I think the first goal was an own goal from Warrigan. So he scored the second goal, sort of put the game out of reach. And then he scored the fourth one, which definitely put the game out of reach. And then he scored the sixth one. So he has a hat trick. I don't really see how you can deny him, but there are a couple. I think there's one other guy that they could put in. So he's a goal though, and that's why I put him in. There is a silver. Morrow Jr. He had a hat trick of assists and a 9.5 rating, but he's a silver, so I left him out. I was literally, as I was kind of making the team or as I was doing my team of the week stuff, I was like, okay, I'm putting this guy in. I'm putting this guy in. I literally went through and counted up. I was like, oh crap, I'm like at 21, and I only had 2 spots left, which I filled with Harvey Barnes and Jerome Boateng. So, it kind of comes down a little bit to rating for me sometimes too. And you'll see in the reserves, there are some lower rated, so that's kind of why I went with Michael Vlap over Morrow Jr. And our backup goalkeeper is Ruben Blanco from La Liga. And let me go find this man's stats, and I believe It was from this game. Yeah, from Getafe and Celta Vigo. Normally, I wouldn't put a goalkeeper that had a draw in. Like I said, this week I literally couldn't find outside of Bern Leno. I mean, there were the only other goalkeepers I had down, and there were four of them. I think they were all silvers. Yeah, all the other goalkeepers were silvers. So there was only like two gold goalkeepers. And that's where again it comes in. De Gea could get in over one Bissaka, but again, then who else? Who do you put in for a defender? There's not really a whole lot of options to do that. So Ruben Blanco had six. He had 6 saves, 4 in the box. He had a high claim, 8.3 rating. Obviously, the clean sheet. So I think he made some key saves in that game. Keep Celta Vigo in it, and that Getafe is actually fourth place in the league, and Celta Vigo is 17th. So that was, I mean, that's a huge point in the relegation battle. You got Mallorca, Leganes, and Espanyol in the bottom with 25, 23, 20 respectively. So at one point it helped them, but Mallorca and Leganes actually won and beat clubs that were higher than them. See, where is, yeah, Mallorca upset Ibar. Well, I say upset. Ibar is 16th. That's not really an upset. And then Leganes actually upset Villarreal, and Villarreal is 8th. So that was a big one there. Valencia, they're struggling lately, and they're probably going to get smacked by Atalanta in UCL this week. So I think that'll put Blanco in. He's 84 rated too, so you got an 86 and 84 rated keeper. So I feel like that's pretty decent for the subs. Now we head over to the reserves. These I kind of didn't have as much problem with because they're, you kind of go through the lower rated and you just find the best of the best, basically. So Lee Griffiths for Celtic, he had 3 goals, a 10 rating, a clean sheet, and Celtic won 5-0 on Saturday. So I feel like that guarantees him a team of the week. Not a lot to talk about there. Paulinho for Bayer Leverkusen, he had 2 goals, 1 assist in their 4-0 win on Saturday. He had an 8.8 rating, clean sheet. I could have put him in at Cam, but obviously he's only a 78, so that kind of dwindles the starting 11 down. So I just put him in the reserves. I feel like that pretty much guarantees him a team of the week as well. Next is Manuel Schaffler from German 2 club Wiesbaden. He had a hat trick. So he had a hat trick and an assist. 4 points, if you're counting single points there. 9.9 rating. They didn't have a clean sheet, but they got the win, and he was basically the whole reason they won that game. So I feel like that gets him in the team of the week. Matt Smith, next one, Matt Smith for Millwall. They won 3-0, and he literally scored all 3 goals, hat trick in the first half. Automatic team of the week for me there. Again, not a whole lot to talk about there. And then the last one is actually a bronze that should get in this week. And I believe, if I remember, Plymouth Argyle is, I can't remember. I want to say, I'm gonna mess it up, so I'm just gonna look it up, so I don't mess it up. Yeah, Plymouth Argyle is League 2. And this guy's actually listed as a left mid, but in the game for Plymouth Argyle, he played left back. And he had a 9.4 rating, a clean sheet, 2 goals. Very, very rarely do you ever see a defender. I've been doing this for 26 weeks now. Very, very rarely you see a defender that has over a 9 rating in a game. So, hey, he deserves the team of the week in my opinion. I didn't really see any out of all the other team guys that I had in my predictions. None of them were bronzes, so I feel like he's the bronze that gets in this week. So that kind of does it for the team of the week. There's the starting 11 again. So we have Junior Marias, Casper Dolberg, Fabio Quagliarella, Sadio Mane, Thorgan Hazard, Aaron Ramsey, Dusan Tadic, Sydney, Jerome Boateng, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Bernd Leno. Now, of the ones that I left out, who could potentially get in? Totw had 2 goals today for Sassuolo. They won 3-0. Darwin Nunez had 2 goals, 8.8 rating, clean sheet. Demba Ba, Turkish league, he had 1 goal, 2 assists, and 8.5 rating. And then, as I mentioned, Angel Mena for Club Leon, he had 2 goals, 1 assist, and a 9 rating. So there's a possibility that he gets in. Other strikers, I think that's pretty much where I settle with. They could get in. And then let's go to for mids that could get in. Danny Parejo, he scored 1 goal, but it was a draw. I don't think that would get him in. Mark Uth had 2 assists for I believe it was FC Cologne. Jorge Mayer also had a goal in that game, so and I don't have either one of them in. Mark Uth would probably be the one that would get in there for me. Looking through here, Sam Klukas for Stoke had 2 goals, no assists, and 8.8 rating. Inigo Cordoba had 1 goal, 1 assist, and 7.8 rating. He was the only other. Ryan Kent scored the only goal for Rangers in a 1-0 win. I sort of thought about him for a minute, but I was like, like he's got the live card. I was like, it's going to take more for a live card to get upgraded than 1 goal. So I left him out. João Teixeira, he had 2 goals, 8.5 rating. And Roberto Insigne, he had 1 goal, 2 assists, and 9.4 rating, and clean sheet. So those are midfielders that could potentially get in. There were a couple of MLS players that I had down, but they're silvers. They could. Jan Gregus for I think it was Minnesota United. He had 1 goal, 2 assists, and they obliterated whoever they played Saturday. I think it was Saturday night. It was like 5-2 or something like that, or 5-1. So that kind of does it for midfielders. Defenders, I mentioned Jorge Mayer. Only other gold that I had down, and there's a potential that he could get in, is Denzel Dumfries. He scored the only goal for PSV Eindhoven in a 1-0 win. He had a 7.2 rating and a clean sheet. I don't know that he'll get in. Sean Kleiber for FC Utrecht, he had 1 goal, 1 assist. Opara for Minnesota United had 2 goals, no assists. He had an 8.8 rating, so there's a possibility he could get in. Outside of that, there weren't any other defenders. And then I mentioned the goalkeepers. I honestly don't. The only goalkeeper that I don't have listed that could potentially get in would be David De Gea. Maybe it's a double prim goalkeeper this week with Leno and De Gea. We'll see. I had Farouk bin Mustafa. He is Saudi League. He had a 9.2 rating and a clean sheet, but he was a silver. Arthur Desmos, he had an 8.4. He had a huge game. He had 8 saves, 6 in the box, 2 high claims. But he's a silver as well. Oscar Ustari, 6 saves, 3 in the box, 1 high claim, an 8.3 and a clean sheet. And then Nicola Raviglia, this was wild. He had 5 saves, 3 in the box, 2 punches. He had 6 high claims. And he was doing some work. He had an 8.3 and a clean sheet. I thought about putting him in, but then his rating wouldn't be that good. So that kind of sums it up. Player of the Month, Messi dropped today. As I mentioned, Player of the Month, Bruno should be dropping on Friday. We got probably Best of Team of the Week on Friday. We have UCL marquee matchups tomorrow. Remember, it's Liverpool Athletic. Should be Liverpool Atletico and Atalanta and Valencia. this time around, as the other two matchups were already in, that being Dortmund, PSG, and RB Leipzig and Tottenham. And then we have regular marquee matchups, and if the and I don't know that this is going to affect it, but if Serie A is actually canceling games, it's going to be kind of iffy if they get in marquee matchups. Although they put in Italy, Inter and Napoli, which is a cup game that was supposed to be played. I think it was supposed to be played this week, but I don't remember. Let me look real quick. That kind of has me curious now. I don't know if this won't show it. Yeah, I think Inter and Napoli were supposed to play a cup game at some point, but with the coronavirus, it's been canceled. That kind of irritated me a little bit because they put them in marquee matchups they didn't even play, and it's a cup game. They claim they don't ever put cup games in marquee matchups, and then go and do that, which is a anyway. If Serie A cancels games, look at my team of the week predictions or team of the week, my marquee matchup predictions. It could be a couple of Ligue 1 that get in over the Serie A, but they could just go ahead and put the Serie A in anyway. So that's kind of a recap of what's going on this week in FIFA. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Ghost Hunter 1974 on Twitch, Ghost Hunter 1974 on Discord, and of course, follow me on Twitter, Hunter 1974 Ghost, or you can comment on this video. Smash that thumbs up. Guys, I hope you have a great week and enjoy Champions League. Have a good night, everybody.